A huge fine for Commonwealth Bank. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Let's have a look at this news.com.au article which is discussing a huge fine for Commonwealth Bank. And don't worry, I've got my stein of coffee ready and I hope you have yours too. So, Commonwealth Bank fined for lifting a man's credit limit after he warned of gambling problems. So, if he warned the bank, these things are a bit, how much paternalistic responsibility should a bank have? But if you inform them that you have an addiction or a problem, then they should take steps. It would be very easy for them to take steps to help minimize your risk. That seems quite reasonable. Any business should do that. It should be a feature to help their clients. Commonwealth Bank has been slapped with a $150,000 fine after it went ahead and gave a customer with a gambling problem exactly what he'd warned them not to do. So he had taken action, he's taken an agency to try and mitigate his compulsive addictive behavior, which is good to hear, encouraging to hear. I mean, a lot of people can have gambling problems. And if anything, it's going to get worse now with the fact that we've got lockdowns. You've got all these easy online casinos. People are using the stock market as a casino. Look at Wall Street Bets if you want to see some just very entertaining and terrifying stories. Commonwealth Bank has been fined $150,000 after increasing a customer's credit card limit, even though he'd warned them he was a problem gambler. The federal court heard the bank had already lifted David Harris's limit before offering to do it again during a phone conversation on October 2016, when he said he did not want it until he was able to get his gambling under control. I mean, every time I bank with the CBA, every time I log in, I'm, here's an offer, borrow this, borrow that, yada, yada, yada. They try and get you hooked. And this is one of the reasons I'd argue that the banks are happy to chuck thousands of dollars at you to get your mortgage over to their side, because then there's the hope. They may not make that much in the mortgage in the short term, but in the long term, if they can get more of your business over there, then they can just skim a little bit here and there and everywhere. At one point, I had 3 credit cards, and they let me max them out and then put it all on one, and then offered me more money, he told the staff member. Oh, that's terrible. So he was consolidating his credit card debt into one. And then they just said, here, go some more. Because you know why? The staff member probably got a bonus. Probably got a bonus or a kickback because they are not our friends, everyone. They're just a business like any other. Sure, they're probably more evil than any other business in the world, but still. I do not really understand why they've offered me that, considering they know clearly see that I used it for gambling and stuff like that. Okay, now did he inform them of a gambling problem, or did he expect them to see what he'd done on his credit card? I think that it's pretty bad of them to offer me that when I clearly have a gambling problem. But the bank didn't formally record his admission, there we go, or pass it on to its credit decisions system. So 10 days later, Mr. Harrison got a letter inviting him to increase his limit from $27,000 to $32,000 on a credit card. And these interest rates are getting up to 20%, guys. Just over a month later, he got another offer. This time, to up his limit to $35,100. I still have credit cards. I've got 2, one for personal, one for business. You know what the limit on it is? Try and guess in the comments, guys. Try and guess. What do you think my credit card limit is? $500. Be lower if I could do it. But why haven't I got rid of it? Because I'm lazy. I'm just too lazy. At the time, $8,000 was the maximum credit card limit offered by the CBA. Just as Bernard Murphy noted. Oh boy, 35 grand. And then, probably at the casino, probably a privately owned ATM, cash advance, $2. Mr. Harris took up the offer the following months, ran up a balance of $35,000, then failed to make the minimum repayment of $699. $699 a month. for just $35,000. Think how much the bank pays to borrow money. You know, the money that the Reserve Bank creates out of thin air, they magic it out of nowhere, lend it to the bank at essentially nothing, and then the bank gets to release that money to you, so then you're indebted to them and paying $700 a month. This is the World Economic Forum future, where we own nothing and rent everything. You can see why younger generations are picking up Afterpay, are stepping away from credit cards. I can really see it. If he incurred no additional charges on the credit card, and each month he paid only the minimum repayment, it would have taken him 137 years and 10 months to pay off the balance, Justice Murphy said. He was only able to continue to pay off his credit card because he worked extended periods without rest, working 6 to 7 days a week in physically demanding work as a roofer. So he's a tradie up there on the roof, and there's a risk element involved there working on the roof, and it can get hot. It's not an easy job. He was also reliant on winnings from gambling and a loan from his employer. So the poor guy, it sounded like he was in a shit situation, frankly. It sounded horrific. This is the thing, guys, with gambling. It can be quite insidious, quite evil, quite addictive. And it's what's happening now as well is on the little iPhone games. Mobile games, they're designed to trigger the same response. And you get young kids now that are being exposed to gambling all the time, with like the loot crates and things. It can be the same thing. People can rack up huge costs. Mr. Harris became physically and mentally exhausted, had trouble sleeping, and began to suffer depression and anxiety. Justice Murphy found CBA breached responsible lending provisions and gave 4 reasons, including failing to make reasonable inquiries as to whether Mr. Harris still considered himself a problem gambler. The Australian Securities and Investment Commission alleged the CBA admitted the misconduct was the result of inadequate systems and processes for problem gambler notifications. CBA's credit card conduct was the subject of a case study by the Banking Royal Commission. The law has since been changed, with unsolicited credit limit increase offers now prohibited. So that's why they've stopped appearing all the time. Also, a credit card contract or credit limit increase must be deemed unsuitable if it is likely the consumer will not be able to repay it within 3 years. The bank has taken steps to finalize a hardship arrangement with Mr. Harris and introduced measures intended to address problem gambling associated issues, as well as broaden measures to help customers manage their credit card, ASIC noted. So if we have a look here, it doesn't look like this news is big enough to actually shift the share price at CBA. They're still sitting at $69. I mean, it's 150 grand. So they're still down from their peak. Dividend yield is 4.32%. 52-week high is $91. 52-week low is at $53.44. Now, this is a tough situation. If you know anyone that has experienced trouble with gambling, it can really snowball. It can snowball. Have you been through it, guys? What strategies have you used to get out of this? We've all seen, you go to the pub or the RSL and you see the people just sitting there, just putting dollar after dollar in the pokies. And these machines are designed to get an emotional response, to stimulate your brain. It's quite insidious how they work with the flashing lights, with the timing, with the almost winning something. Sure, I mean, some gambling, blackjack, you can use a strategy to improve your odds. But, roulette, sure, you can improve your odds depending, but then they chuck in zeros and double zeros and all these other little things. Can you tell I like probability at high school? I did really well at probability and maths because of all, I was interested in gambling when I turned 18. But still, it can become a serious problem for people. As always, guys, what do you think about this situation? He informed the bank. He informed them. They didn't act on it. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan of the channel and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or KuCoin. You can buy merch from Heiser Says, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode.